Every hour on the hour, the Concorde service now swoops into London's third international airport in the heart of Piccadilly. At the controls, Captain Bryan Carney, who started his career flying Hurricanes during the war. The big bird tilts at 15 degrees, using the wing surface to brake, and touches down right on schedule. It's another model landing. It was the great circus entertainer Phineas Barnum who observed that the difference between men and boys was the size of their toys, and former Comet captain Bryan Carney is a showman in the same tradition. His fully working model of an international airport has been called the world's most expensive toy. It's certainly the only one of its kind. It took him 5 years to build, 10,000 hours of meticulous planning and design to create a cavalcade of aviation history. The 747s and the DC-10s, right back to the Wright brothers Kitty Hawk, which made the first powered flight in 1903, flying a distance less than the wingspan of a modern jumbo.
Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome. Now, we're going to have a spot of fun.
Bryan's airport is currently sited on 1,000 square feet of Swan and Edgar's at Piccadilly Circus. His plain man's guide to modern aviation takes 20 minutes, but it takes 6 days to assemble the jigsaw of coded parts that makes up his 2.5-ton model, so it only gets an airing half a dozen times a year. But it's been flown round the world twice and picked up numerous international awards, including a special commendation from the Duke of Edinburgh. In fact, the Queen Mum never misses a show. It's not the wail of the bagpipes, but the roar of the big jets that's music to the ears of Captain Carney. In his cockpit, taken from a Battle of Britain Lancaster, he told me why he built his model.
On the flight deck in many airports across the world, people flock to see the big jets coming in and to take part in this international, intercontinental travel. So being an Irishman, I thought to myself, instead of all the people going out to an airport, why not bring an airport into them?
Carney International Airport's got the lot. A passenger terminal built out of old film cans, topped by a revolving restaurant, an upturned fruit bowl. The control tower is a couple of cocoa tins. Bryan's flight of fancy has even extended to a village on the edge of the airport with a circus on the green. There's a guest appearance by the Muppets. Bryan's wife, Angela, a former air hostess, plays a big part in creating an absolutely authentic atmosphere. Apart from being chief stewardess, she carries out most of the routine maintenance on the 11,000 feet of electric cable and the 1,000 vehicles on the perimeter roads.
You can see lorries, they run along the motorways and they do 7 miles a day, 42 miles a week, about 2,000 miles a year. So I have to change, my job actually is to change their little rubber tyres every Monday and every Thursday morning.
But you've got 1,000 vehicles. How long does that take you?
Oh, it takes me quite a while, about an hour. It used to take me longer, but I've got sort of used to it now.
But despite constant maintenance, mechanical failures do happen. So 2 fleets of emergency vehicles are on constant standby. Calling them out is one of the high spots of the show. Ironically, the favourite with the children is this futuristic fire engine that costs just 30 pence. Bryan reckons that 10 million kids from 9 to 90 have now enjoyed his show around the world.
The people join in, they love it, they live it. You know, we did a show in Shannon, and an airport executive, when he saw the sign go up on the aircraft flight deck, no smoking, fasten your seatbelts, calmly took his cigarette out, put it on the floor and stood on it. We were in Adelaide the year before last, and 2 ladies were airsick. The model was so realistic that they were really there. And then, of course, we did a show in Seattle. And a dear old lady walked up to me and gave me a wonderful present, these goggles, which belonged to Wilbur Wright.
In these days of the modern jet, Bryan likes to blind his audience with science. He'll tell them that models like this DC-9 are a systemized logistical projection involving synchronized reciprocal time-phased mobility. In other words, they run on a magnetic track and they're controlled by a time switch. But he sums up his real driving force just as simply.
the big jets sweeping in, the big jets taking off. This is living, this is life, this is enthusiasm, and this is magic.